Hey, BillO'Reilly.com premium members, welcome to a special commentary for the No Spin News. This is not only open to premium members, but everybody. This is a very important day, April 14th, 2018, on a Saturday. Now, I am doing this because clarity is needed right now in America, and you're not getting it from the news industry. At least I'm not getting it. Now, I mean, maybe you disagree. If you do, write me a letter, but there's so much bull and so much lying going on that it's painful to even watch or watch TV news or read the newspaper. So let's start with the Syria bombing. The motivation for Great Britain, France, and the United States to use their air power to downgrade Assad's capability to use chemical weapons is to send a message to the other rogue states that on this earth, we cannot permit, the Western powers, we cannot permit chemical weapons or nuclear weapons. We just can't permit them to be used. Now, there are a number of people who doubt that Assad, the dictator of Syria, is using chlorine and the other chemical weapons. I have to tell you, I've looked at every report I could possibly see. There is no one else on the planet that has the delivery system to place chlorine gas in a suburb of Damascus. No one. It's either Assad or nobody. Now, he's got a history. All the intelligence agencies agree he's doing it. All right, Macron of France and Theresa May of Great Britain never in a million years would have signed on with Donald Trump to bomb Syria had their intelligence services not said it's Assad. So the American intelligence services say it, Israeli say it, Great Britain says it, France says it. Where's Germany, by the way? Is Germany not a power anymore? They sit out everything. And where are they? They should be right with us. So the bombing to downgrade the chemical situation was lawful and legitimate. Now, whether we should do it or participate, you can debate that all day long. But if we're not going to send messages throughout the world that chemical weapons are unacceptable, if we, the United States, are not going to do that, who's going to do it? So then you're going to have every tin horn dictator having chemical weapons because they're not hard to develop. That's what led to the Iraq War, that everybody thought Saddam Hussein had this big cache of chemical and biological weapons, which turned out to be false, by the way. And the intelligence agencies turned out to be wrong. I'll see that. But now we have a number of attacks in Syria. All right? A number of attacks on the ground. The medical people say this baby died from chlorine ingestion. All right? The doctors aren't lying. So it's who's putting the chlorine in? Who's putting the chemical weapons in? There's nobody else has a delivery system to do it. It's not like Syria is a place where you can just drive around with big trucks full of chemical weapons and dump them. I mean, you know, the military controls Syria. So if you know anything about this, there isn't any doubt that Assad is the villain, and he's protected by Putin in Russia and Iran. So he feels he can get away with it. See, Assad would love to have America and Russia slug it out. Assad would love that. So that's one of the reasons that he continues to do this, to try to get a bigger conflict going. Assad's a real evil SOB. Now you turn on television and you hear the dishonest charlatans. So this is Wag the Dog. That means there's a movie, Wag the Dog. All right, Dustin Hoffman was in it. And it's about a president who gets in trouble and then creates, falsifies a military conflict to get people's minds off the trouble that he has. So immediately these charlatans go out on, cable television, network television, and always wag the dog. So I'm saying to myself, to believe that, you would have to believe that Macron of France and May of Great Britain are colluding with Trump to save him from the Mueller investigation. They're all in it together. It's a big, big drive to save Donald Trump's butt. Who on earth would believe that? Who? It's so moronic, so stupid, so insulting to anyone's intelligence. Yet there they are, being paid millions of dollars, sitting there by major corporations, spouting this gibberish. And I'm just sitting there doing, how much are people going to take? And you know what? There's an audience for it. There's an audience for it. You would think that these people who are bereft of honesty, who all day long, their agenda is to destroy people with whom they disagree, including Donald Trump. You would think that people, everybody, would say, you know what? Enough. I'm not going to waste my time watching that. I'm not going to waste my time reading that newspaper. I know everything in that newspaper is already a foregone conclusion. And I told you last week, the journalistic industry no longer is searching for the truth. They don't care. From the top down, a narrative is put forth to all the journalists who work in the company. And they know that their editors, producers, whatever it may be, want to get Trump, or in some cases want to protect Trump. That rank and file know that. So when they're given an assignment, it's implied this is what we're looking for. And I can, believe me, what I'm telling you is the absolute truth. It's not, they don't call them into the office and say, listen, Freddie, I want you to do a story that says boom, 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 boom. They don't do that. They say, here's your assignment. The assignment is that this anonymous source says something bad about Trump. All right, so you find out. And the person goes, oh, well, okay. It's not ever, if you read my column, this anonymous source says something good about Trump. Never that. Never. So the people reporting know what is expected of them if they want to keep their job and get good assignments. Same thing on cable TV. The pundits know what their role is, what they're expected to say. If they don't say it, they're not going to be on. That was one of the brilliant things about The Factor. So I never required anybody to say anything. Okay? Say what you want. Just back it up, or I'm going to make you look foolish. If you can't back it up, you're going to look like a dope. That's all. We never had, well, we want you to say this, and then you play that part. But that's what's going on. So these people, they go on, tell me, oh, it's wag the dog. So there wasn't anything necessary to do in Syria. It's just Trump wanted to do it to get away from the Mueller investigation. And Macron and Theresa May, they're helping him. What kind of a moron? I mean, really? A 6-year-old wouldn't say that if you gave them the facts. They'd go, no, that doesn't really sound right. But these people, they paid millions of dollars to spit this stuff out every night. It's unbelievable. And people watch. All right, so summing up, the message was to the world, you can't use chemical weapons to kill anybody, much less women and children. And if you do, the major Western powers are going to hurt you. Simple. All right? I don't object to that message. I do not. Even though I know the history of Iraq and how we got involved in something that we should not have gotten involved with, based upon wrong information and whatever. I will cede that. But each situation has to be taken on its own merits. Okay. The other big story I want to tell you about on this Saturday afternoon, and by the way, finally, here in the Northeast, It's 70 degrees in the middle of April, finally. But tomorrow it's supposed to drop 40 degrees. Yeah. But anyway, we're all out and having a good time today. The second story is Michael Cohen. Now, this is an interesting story that everybody should keep their eye on. Michael Cohen is Donald Trump's personal lawyer, and he handles a lot of things for the president, way before Donald Trump even got into politics. All right? I have a personal lawyer. Maybe you do as well. But certainly if you are a person in the public eye, you have to have them. You have to have attorneys because you can be attacked at any moment, as I have been. All right? As Trump was consistently. So Michael Cohen now is in the storm of Robert Mueller, the special prosecutor. And his office is raided by the FBI from a referral from Mr. Mueller. So Michael Cohen did something that a judge saw that's wrong or allegedly wrong. And the judge signed a warrant and then they come in. As soon as the raid happened, leaks started to come out. Now remember, I wrote a column about this. It's very important you read this column. That when Ken Starr was investigating Bill Clinton, there were very few leaks. Mueller, every single day, leaks, 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 leaks. So one of the leaks goes to the McClatchy News Service, okay? And McClatchy prints, anonymous source, that Mueller has information that Michael Cohen did go to Prague a few months before the election and met with Russians. If that's true, that is a game changer. Now, Michael Cohen came out today. That's false. I never went to Prague. When that meeting was supposed to have taken place with the Russians, I was in Los Angeles watching my son play baseball. That's what Michael Cohen says. Okay? Oh, I'm reading this story. I know McClatchy couldn't verify what was leaked to it, impossible. Russians aren't verifying any meeting there. Russians are saying there were no meeting. There was no meeting in Prague. I didn't meet with him. And the counselor, all right, is adamant. Adamant. Cohen said, I wasn't there. I've never been to Prague. So I'm reading this story and I'm going, it's pretty simple. If the story is bogus, if it's a lie, then McClatchy has to turn over its source. Has to say, we got lied to by this person. Here's who leaked it. Because if a source lies to a news agency, there is no confidentiality anymore. So McClatchy has to say it came from here. Now, it had to come from either Mueller, the FBI, or the U.S. Attorney in Manhattan. The only place, 3 places could have come from, the leak to McClatchy. 3. So, I'm also advancing the story. And here's the kicker. I don't know if Michael Cohen is telling the truth. I don't. And if he's lying, if he did go to Prague and he met with Russians a few months before the presidential election, it's over for the Trump administration. It's over. But if it's a lie, then we have to start, we the American people, demanding that these news agencies using anonymous sources pony up who their sources are. And here's the kicker. I've been to Europe many, many times, but I've never been to Prague. So don't tell me I met with some Russian there, because I've never been to Prague. Been to Vienna, been to Budapest, but not to Prague. When a person travels to Europe, any person, all right, by plane, and that's how Cohen would have had to have gotten there, whether it's commercial airliner or private plane, there is a manifest of all the passengers flying into whatever country you fly into. That manifest is given to Interpol. So if Cohen took a private jet, he lands anywhere near, McClatchy said he entered into the Czech Republic from Germany, all right? Whatever German city he landed in, got in a car, drove to Prague, that city has a manifest that Cohen landed in a private plane here because authorities have to check that. And if a private plane doesn't put the manifest on, they lose their license to go anywhere. If he flew commercial, Delta or anything like that, again, it's there. Interpol has it in their computer system. Has it. Every person who checks into a hotel in Europe, any country, Interpol knows that night who's where in any hotel in Europe. And that's the anti-terrorist stuff. And it goes into a giant computer. So if they're looking for Bill O'Reilly and I'm in Dublin, they know where I am, what hotel I'm in, and how I got to Ireland, what flight I took. So if Mueller suspects that Michael Cohen did indeed go to Prague to meet with Russians, all he has to do is go to the FBI and say, you go to Interpol, get the manifests, and see if Cohen was on the continent. Has to be there. Has to be there. So it doesn't stack. There are ways to find out if Michael Cohen went to Prague. And believe me when I tell you, with all of this stuff going on now, with bombing Syria and Trump threatening Putin and all of that, you don't think Putin's going to leak that out? You don't think Putin's going to put that out if there was a meeting between Trump's personal attorney and one of Putin's flunkies? Putin put that out like that. Create mass chaos in the United States. So it doesn't stack. It's not stacking. So this is why you listen to this broadcast. Listen to me while you're BillO'Reilly.com premium members. And if you're not, because this is open to everybody, I hope you'll sign up. Because we are tired of the BS from the media. You're being conned when you turn on that channel, whatever channel it may be. Some are better than others, but most of them are just dismal. Newspapers, forget it. Forget it. They couldn't care less about what's true. Let's get Trump out of there. 90% of the newspapers, get him out. Get him out. They'll print anything. Now, McClatchy, I'm watching you, man. If you don't back this up, if you can't produce proof or somebody else that what you say is true, Cohen was in Prague from your secret source, you got to tell us who that source was or go out of business. Fold it up. So it'd be interesting to see how this unfolds. Now, on Monday, Colonel Ralph Peters is going to be here. All right? And Joe DeGeneva, who's calling for Mueller to quit or be fired. He's going to be here, the lawyer who is backing Donald Trump. Two big-time guests. Last week, we broke a big story about Lanny Davis handing over stuff to the Inspector General. And McCabe is done now. Andrew McCabe, the deputy director of the FBI for all those years under Comey, finished. He's a liar. That's it. He's done. Comey, they're zeroing in on him because that IG's report was just about McCabe. Still to come is the Justice Department Inspector General's report on Hillary Clinton email investigation and the Mueller Russian collusion probe. That's still to come. So McCabe's gone. And how that reflects on Comey, you make the call. Next week, it's all about Comey. You're going to see the Syria story recede. It's going to be Comey, Comey, Comey. Comey says this, Comey says that. Blah, 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 blah. And if President Trump were smart, he'd just shut up. Okay? Let Comey say whatever he wants to say. All right? Half the country thinks he's a charlatan anyway. It doesn't really matter, does it? No, it doesn't. What matters is the IG's report and if Mueller is being square. If Mueller's team is leaking like crazy. That bothers me. I can't tell you how much that bothers me. Leak, 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 leak. Why? You got it? Let's see it. You don't need a leak. All right. So that's it. That's our special analysis for Saturday. We'll keep it on Sunday. We'll have our newscast, the No Spin News, on Monday. I hope you find this worthy. If you're not a premium member, as I said, I hope you sign up because we're living in a time where you need to get the truth. We all need the truth. You'll get it here. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you Monday night.